Kwanza samani itabidi bwana tuingie upande wa pili.
Yes,
maana leo ni tarehe 29 mwezi Septemba. Siku ambayo tunasherehekea World Maritime Day.
Yes,
na tuko tunaungana naye Dori na Range ambaye atakuwa anatueleza ni yapi ambayo bila shaka kwa sasa inajiri katika hafla ambayo inafanyika hapa Mombasa.
Bwana cha msingi kwenye radio tupo tunaendelea.
At the Mbaraki Wharf next to Likoni Ferry, and I can tell you for sure the weather right here very chilly, cold. In fact, it is raining, but nonetheless we are here to give you the feel and flavor of the World Maritime Day. This is where this event will be taking place this year. That is at the Likoni Ferry here in Mombasa. I'm talking about the World Maritime Day. This is the day that is actually marked annually on the last Thursday of September every year. But one thing which is coming out very strongly is that we are seeing this specific day being marked on a Friday, and momentarily we'll be seeking to understand why that was pushed from Thursday to Friday. But also, it's a good point for me to let you in on what is the significance of this day and why Kenya is equally marking this day much as the entire globe and the world is marking the World Maritime Day 2023. This is just to emphasize on the need for security, safety, and by extension, the environmental sustainability of our maritime life and maritime world. That is why this day is normally marked every year with a theme coming out very strongly, that is Marpol. At 50, our commitment continues. That is the theme for the World Maritime Day 2023. But also, just to give you a bit of some background, about this particular theme and why it is essential. This comes at a time where 50 years ago, member states of the International Maritime Organization, that is the IMO, did sign this Marpol Treaty. In fact, it was a landmark treaty which brought about several member states, to be very specific, about 175 of them, to which Kenya is also amongst these member states. And the reason why they were signing this specific treaty in the year 1973, that is over 5 decades ago, was just to look for better ways, sustainable ways as far as prevention of pollution of our maritime environment is concerned. So I'm talking about the seas, the ocean, the marine life, and by extension, the entire environment. So this is why this treaty was signed by member states, looking for and charting for better ways as far as dealing with marine environment pollution is concerned. So 50 years later, they are tracking the progress of this specific treaty, and if at all these member states have achieved this goal that was set 50 years ago. So this is why the theme for this year is cut out around that. And also, it's an important point for me to let you know that just some 2 days ago, the IMO Secretary General, that is Kita Klim, while addressing a high-level panel in UNEP London, did mention that indeed 50 years later, some significant progress has been done and made by member states, but also he reiterated the importance and the need to look at issues of decarbonization, looking at issues of green financing, as well as continue to get sustainable ways to deal with matters of environmental as well as marine pollution. And this just comes at a time where just 3 weeks coming 3 weeks later, where you realize that Nairobi, or better still Kenya, did hold the Africa Climate Summit, and it did culminate with the Nairobi Declaration, which touched on various issues, key among them being carbon credits as well as green financing. And so also today, we expect key addresses which will equally touch on some similar elements, such as what we saw during the Africa Climate Summit, and key among them is also the green financing. So looking at ways in which Kenya, and by extension the Africa as well as a globe, can leverage on some of these ways to see how better well we can protect our marine environment. And also, just before Eropin, my guest this morning, just before that, perhaps also a good place for me to let you in on some of the key important persons we're expecting. Key among them is the governor of Mombasa, that is Abdul Swamad Sharif. We are also expecting the acting director general of KMA, as well as the Kenya Coast Guard DG Bruno Shioso, amongst various other other key important personnel and dignitaries, not forgetting the Principal Secretary for Shipping and Maritime, who will also be making his way here. So we're going to be very keen to just listen into this keynote speeches and addresses, and what this also means for us as a country, and how also you and I as an individual can be able to, just play a big role and play a part as far as looking for better ways of marine environment sustainability is concerned. But before we get to do all that, Michelle joins me right here. Michelle, good morning, and how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Just talk to me about the significance of this, especially for us as a country. What does this mean for us as a country, holding this World Maritime Day, given that it's a global event?
It is really important because we are a maritime nation, and at the moment right now we are all going towards improving our blue economy and the maritime sector. But then a lot of focus is on how do we protect the marine environment. While we are conducting these maritime activities and blue economy, we need to protect the marine environment. So as a country, we are here to show our commitment to protect the marine environment, and that is the focus for World Maritime Day this year.
Whilst most of us might be looking at this World Maritime Day and looking at it from a global perspective and global scale, given it's done also globally, while someone will be asking, so where does you and I as individuals come in when it comes to better sustainability of our marine environment?
I believe it starts from, it has to start from home. We are told charity begins from home. So even when we go maybe to the beach, we need to be able to take care of our marine environment. Let us try to reduce plastic litter. Those are small things that we can do as wananchi. Reduce the plastic litter. Let us not throw them into our marine environment. Let us not tamper with the marine environment. For those in the shipping industry, let us ensure that we do not encourage pollution of our seas with oil that comes from the ship. We need to be able to be responsible.
Yes. From your assessment, 50 years later since the Marpol Treaty was signed, have we made significant progresses as a country?
I believe as a country we are moving there because 4 years ago we were encouraged to reduce the plastic litter. Right now you can see that we joined the world in terms of the beach cleanups and the highlighting issues of marine environment protection. It's all over, and we are planting mangroves. I believe it's a journey, and we are already focused on reaching there.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Michelle, lastly, what would you say are some of the tracks and strides we have made, and what you're seeing as far as what is different in the shipping and marine industry 10 years later, for instance?
I believe right now shipping companies and agencies that have flagships are trying to comply with sulfur, reducing the rate of sulfur on their ships, that is using fuel that is much safer to the environment. We held the Africa Climate Summit. We've already held a number of engagements as a country in terms of telling people and moving our ports into green shipping. I believe we are moving there. Yes.
Thank you very much, Michelle. We are indeed moving there, but also it's a good point to understand that really it does take steps and milestones as well as individual efforts, and that's why I keep telling you that this is why this day is significant, much as it's being marked by the globe and the entire world, being dubbed as the World Maritime Day. You clearly note that also it comes down to us as a country and as Kenya. So also, as we just finish up, I'd like to let you in on some of the key topics we are expecting to emanate from those keynote speakers that I did mention to you earlier. We are looking at issues of decarbonization. We are heavily expecting that to come out very strongly from the speeches that we'll be hearing today. We are also expecting topics around green financing to also come out heavily, issues of innovation and technology. Remember, we're moving at a place where we can best leverage on innovation and technology as far as security, safety, and environmental sustainability of our marine environment is concerned. And we are here as KBC Channel 1 to give you bits and pieces, feel and flavor of what will be happening in Mombasa.